right now you're in one of these two paths. Path number one is the plateaued or declining path, where you're dependent too much on getting referrals, you don't know where your next deal will come from, and it's so frustrating because you're trying out all of these different kinds of strategies and nothing seems to work out. Maybe you've tried out LinkedIn outbound before, but it didn't really work as much, probably because you're using AI or selling right off the bat, or maybe you're not using the principles that we're going to be talking about today, or you're on path number two, the growing path, where you're consistently growing month after month. If you're on path number one, this course will take you to path number two and will save you years and hundreds of $1,000s worth of mistakes. And if you have identified that you're already on path number two, odds are you have hit a ceiling, you don't know how to break through it, and this video will help you smash through it and help you reach the scale that you've been wanting. And this is not just theory. My name is Joseph Tannous. Over the past 2 years, I have been building my PR agency and booked over 500 meetings with CEOs that are making between 500,000 and hundreds of millions of dollars from LinkedIn outbound alone. The process that you're going to be seeing today is not found anywhere on the internet because I have personally made it. You're not going to find it, at least for now. And I see lots of courses and people charging $5,000 up to $10,000 for material like this. But you're going to get it all for free today. There is no extension. I'm not trying to sell you a course. This is not my strategy. My strategy is that I am now running Tannous Capital. It's a scaling business. We help businesses, B2B businesses, scale and add 6 to 7, maybe 8 figures in revenue to their business through LinkedIn outbound and our sales processes. If you're an employee looking to be recruited, or if you're a B2B business but you're selling very low ticket items, maybe something under $100, this course is not for you. But if you are a B2B business owner or a B2B marketer and you're selling high ticket items, then this video will make you so much money. And this is my promise. All of the 2 to 4 hour videos on the internet and on YouTube, I've seen them all. Unfortunately, they're filled with fluff. They're filled with very generic messages. Maybe they give you some templates, they don't really work. They give you very theoretical stuff, maybe some beginner stuff, which I'm not against beginner stuff, but they really focus on the beginner stuff and don't give you the things that you need to actually get the client. This is not just theoretical, this is practical. I will show you real examples. I will show you the exact messages that you can use as templates. Of course, you're going to have to do your own work to make yourself unique, but generally you can just copy me and you're going to succeed. Over this course, we'll go over 4 sections. Number 1 is how to build the highest converting profile possible based on real statistics. Number 2 is the 5S and 1T framework that I use in my strategy with both of my companies. Number 3, I'm going to show you real examples of failed and successful messages that you can use. And number 4 is I'm going to show you how to infinitely scale this so you can get even more volume and increase your revenue month after month. Before we jump in, let me tell you why LinkedIn outbound is the best way to grow your business in both the short and the long term. So if we look at ads require a lot of ad spend, and according to an article from WARC, 70% of all ads fail to get meaningful returns. And if you want to look at content always relies on algorithms, and algorithms change as much as your mother-in-law's mood. But outbound does not depend on any of that. You can simply reach out to that target person. You already know that this person is qualified. You reach out to him as many times as you want and to as many people as you'd like, which gets you the highest ROI possible. And this is infinitely scalable. You can get up to 1 to 10 million per month with this, depending of course on your offer and sales process. More on that later. And if that sounds interesting, let's jump in. So number 1 thing we're going to have to do is optimizing our profile. I know you probably want to skip that part because it's too obvious, but there are certain things that you can do that when I implemented them with my BDR, it 3x'd his results. So pay attention. You're going to find a lot of value in this. Number 1, of course, is the profile picture. If you're a guy, wear a suit and a tie and have a picture taken from the front of you. If you're a girl, maybe wear something similar, wear a dress, something like that. So that's number one. And if you don't have any solid pictures, maybe you have some scrappy pictures here and there, what you can do is that you can use this prompt. You're going to find this document down below. You can just copy this prompt, paste it to ChatGPT, add a few pictures of yourself. Here I added 4, you can add 2 or 3, whatever you'd like, and it will get you a really nice picture. Okay, so this is number one. Number two, you can put your photo on steroids by adding the hiring frame. Maybe you're not hiring. So this is, if you're doing this, you're lying. I'm not with that. For us, we're always hiring. We're always looking for good talent, which, by the way, if you want some business development roles, or you're looking for a job and would like to work with us, you can click the link below and apply. But in here, you can add the hiring frame, and it increased my connection request to acceptance rate by 20%. That's it. So yeah, you can do this through LinkedIn by adding the hiring frame through here. I think frames, hiring, etc. Or you can do something like this. So there's this second link also in the document below. You can use it and you can add whatever text. Here you can add hiring, whatever color, etc. And then you add the hiring frame. So this is just putting the picture on steroids to increase conversions. And then number 3, of course, is the title. This is the template that I like to use for the title. The target industry plus the service plus what you do and offer, then your role and the company. So for me, this is how mine looks. You can do something similar. And these 3 components that I've just mentioned are the most important ones because they don't just appear inside of your profile. Right now, I'm inside my profile. If I go outside of my profile, let's say I go to the comments, wherever you are, maybe on the feed, you're going to find those outside of the profile as well. 100% Krishan. Yes. So as you can see my profile picture and my title. So that's why these 3 things are the most important ones. And then the 4th most important thing is your job title. So the logic tells us that when you message a CEO, they're way more likely to respond to another CEO or founder. And they're more likely to respond to this person rather than an intern. You see what I mean? So what does that tell us? If you are a founder or a CEO, make that very obvious in your title, in your experience here as well. Make it very obvious. If you are not a founder or a CEO and you work as an appointment setter, as a salesperson, whatever it is, talk to your leader and try to get them to get you a fancy name, like a VP of sales and so on. Like you can see this example in The Wolf of Wall Street, where they were all saying like, this is the VP of sales at Stratton Oakmont.
I'm Senior Vice President at Stratton Oakmont.
So this is all done because we increase the credibility, we increase the authority, therefore we get more responses. So you can do this. And for example, for my team, they all have fancy titles. Like they're all managers, presidents, etc., which helps the business and helps them as well. So why not? So this is another thing. Now the 5th thing is the banner here. The banner has a few jobs. The most important job is that maybe it explains a little bit more about your business and what you're doing. But more importantly is that it needs to show some credibility, because in the title here, like when people read the title and they see your profile picture and they click at the profile, they've already shown some interest. They're already interested in what you're doing. They open up the profile. Okay, now what? They see the banner in front of them. After seeing the banner needs to reinforce what they're looking for. It needs to be social proof. It needs to back your claims up with proof. So in here, we have a system booked 500 plus qualified calls for Jamco PR, very specific. Got our clients featured on Forbes, USA Today, Business Insider, more social proof. And these are familiar top tier publications. So they're going to associate me with them, increases my authority. At the same time, in here, I got the screenshot of a calendar of one of my days. So this just increases the perceived likelihood of achievement, just like Hormozy tells us, even more. So this is for the banner. And the 6th thing, I think it's the 5th or the 6th, is the country. So a person who lives in the US will get way more conversions than a person in India, for example. So what does that mean? Does that mean that you should change your profile to a US profile? No, not necessarily, because this might get your account restricted and banned because of false information. What I'm thinking about, I'm still experimenting with this, is that, for example, my country, Estonia, it's where I'm based. It's not where I'm personally based, but it's where my company is based right now in Budapest. And what I'm thinking in experimenting with this is, for example, I have people who work from third world countries. Instead of having their country, they can switch that country to the company registration country, if that makes sense. So since my company is registered in Estonia, they can switch their country to Estonia. This is still in experimentation mode, but I thought, okay, I'll get my idea out there, and if you'd like to try this out, you can go for it. As I said, be careful because this might get your account restricted. And another thing is the name. So for example, if you have an American or a Middle Eastern name, you're way more likely to get accepted, to get a reply, etc. So what does that mean? Should you change your name? Well, you know, if your name is Malkodid, oh my God, if your name is Malkodid, honestly, I just came up with that. If your name is Malkodid, just change your name. Never forgive your parents. Oh my God, they did you extremely wrong. I hope no one's name is Malkodid at this point. But if your name is Malkodid, just go with M. Add M and then your family name. Okay, and one more thing about the profile is the content itself. So as you can see here, I have some content. The content, like, you don't have to post a lot. You don't have to post every day. Maybe post once a week and make sure that it's relevant to what you're doing. So for example, if you're running an AI agency and all of a sudden you're talking about marketing, you're talking about politics, your brand is not consistent. People open up your profile to find out a little more about you, and all of a sudden they read something that doesn't have anything to do with what you're doing. It's not a good look. So in here, what I like to do is to post, number one, about what I'm doing, and number two is a case study, so that whenever someone opens up my profile, this acts as even more social proof over the banner. They're like, oh my God, this guy was booking like 8 meetings, now he's booking 40. How did he do that? Etc. Maybe this will push them even more. So all we're doing, like with all of these components, is just trying to get a few percentages extra from here, a few percentages from here, and all of a sudden this adds up a lot. This adds up so much, and it will help us scale the business a lot. And the ninth thing is the others. So I'm not going to get into all of the small details. For example, the about section, just add a nice about section. You know, the featured section, you can add something like this with your company link, and here you can add whatever else you're doing, add your education and experiences, etc. So these are some things you can just do on your own. So now we've completed section 1. Our profile is complete. Congratulations. Now, before we get into section 2, it's important for you to know and have a very solid offer and a target ICP, which is the ideal client persona, the person you're trying to talk to. If you don't have those figured out, don't worry, we'll get that sorted out very shortly. I have this prompt ready. So you're going to find this document also below. You can just copy and paste this prompt. This prompt is inspired by Hormozy. So this is how he structures his offers. You copy and paste it, and then they'll start asking you questions like, what service or product do you sell? For example, you're selling AI infrastructures here, AI infrastructures, and you keep going with them. They ask you a question, you answer, and you end up with an offer similar to this one. For example, this one is more for digital transformations. A 180-day done-for-you digital transformation program that turns mid-sized professional service firms into streamlined tech-enabled growth engines, boosting qualified leads by up to 100%, cutting admin workload by 40%, and increasing margins by 10 to 20% without hiring any internal teammates. And you can price it between 20 and 60K. Now, this may look complex. I get it. Okay, this may look complex. What the hell is that, Joseph? I get it. Don't worry. When you go through the steps here with ChatGPT, it will give you something tailored to you, tailored to what you're doing. Even if maybe you're very early, it will help you find what's right for you, you know? And I'm not going to go through all of this because each person is different, and it's just going like answering ChatGPT and you end up with a result. So this is for the offer. Same thing with the ICP. So the ICP prompt is in the same document here. You just scroll down, finding your ideal client persona prompt. You copy and paste it. All right. So you go through the questions and you get your ICP. Very straightforward, very clear. Okay. And you end up with an ICP similar to this one, for example. But your target ICP is between 10 to 150 employee professional service firms in the US. Very clear. Now let's move on to the stuff that you've never learned anywhere else before. And it's the 5S and 1T principles. For this strategy, you're going to need Sales Navigator. If you do not know how to use Sales Navigator, I'm going to explain it very simply in 1 minute. It's so straightforward. You have a search bar here. When you log in, maybe you don't have this much content in front of you. It's the same thing, don't worry. You go to the search bar, you can press enter, and then this page will pop up. And here you have the filters. You can filter by the company size, the geographic, whether it's in the US, UK, whatever, industry, first name, language, profile language, etc. And here are the filters that we're going to be using for explanation. Let me copy that. Okay. So for this example, we're going to be targeting companies that have a headcount between 11 and 200. And of course, we're going to be targeting only the decision makers, CEOs, founders, co-founders, US-based clients or prospects. Industry, we're going to be targeting technology, profile, language, say English. We have second and third degree connections, because first degree connections, we have other strategies for them. And then for the account lists, we just exclude everything, because we don't want to target the same people that we've already talked to before. All right. So these are the filters. And after doing these filters, you're going to narrow down the number of people. So maybe before doing all of these filters, maybe we have 100 million options. Maybe we have 100 million prospects, which are not really prospects. They're just random people. But now with the filters, the options have narrowed down so much, and now we have 70K results, but not every person in front of us is qualified. If you look at the person here, for example, SVP of customer experience, this person is not a founder or a CEO. This is not a decision maker. So we're not gonna message them. So this is not qualified person. When we look at this person, for example, all right, this person is qualified because maybe if we were targeting software companies, and he's the decision maker and he fits our company size, we reach out to him. This person, if we're targeting people between 20 and 50 headcount, this is not qualified because of the headcount, etc. So you identify if the person is actually qualified or not by going through these pages one by one. And you don't have to tap on these companies. You just put your cursor on it, and it gives you all of the information you need. And let's say you want to take things one step further and you're only targeting B2B companies. How do you do so? You open up the company profile, you visit their website, and okay, this is a nice website. After looking at it, the distributed engineering operating system. Okay, book a strategy call. Okay, so most likely this is going to be a B2B company. Why? Because it's book a strategy call. Normally, when it's a B2C company, it's lower ticket and they won't want to spend a lot of money on salespeople and customer service, etc. So that is it. And there's no pricing. I don't see any pricing on their page. Therefore, it's probably B2B. So that's how you know if there's no pricing, if it's book a demo. Sometimes there are keywords like digital transformation, etc. It becomes really obvious that it's B2B. And this introduces the first S, the specific person, our target prospect, a qualified lead. Another way to generate leads and identify these ideal prospects. In this example, we use the lead filters. You see here the lead section. Another example is that we can use the account section. In the account section, one of the highest intents of a company needing a service like yours is that they are hiring. They might be hiring. So in here, you can add hiring. This is a really big intent. I just added some more filters, for example, 11 to 50, just a random example, US, manufacturing, and so on. And here's the trick. So let's say you're running an IT company. In here, department headcount growth, you can play around with this one. You can go and find IT. Minimum growth is between 10%, let's say, and 100%. So this shows you that this company is actively hiring for your industry if you're an IT person or an IT company, which increases the chance that when you get into a meeting, you actually close a deal. Good. This specific person solves the unqualified lead problem. Lots of people say, oh, we're talking to unqualified leads. This eliminates that whole problem for you. And now we're going to shift to the second S, which is the size. The number of people we talk to, also known as volume. Back when I started LinkedIn, I was really discouraged because I was relying so much on outreach. I wanted to reach out to more people, talk to more people, get more meetings, etc. But there were lots of limitations, and there still are lots of limitations. Like we're limited to 100 to 200 connection requests per week, and we're limited to 50 to 100 emails per month, depending on the account age and the account reputation, etc. So this put such a cap on my growth. And when I played around with LinkedIn, I found out that there are some accounts that have an open profile like this one. I'm sorry, Lonnie, to show everyone all of this. But when I saw this, I was like, okay, let me do some more research on it. And I found out that we can reach out to 800 open profiles per month. And this single realization 4x the limit that I was playing on. And it was like, oh my God, I just found gold in here. So how do you identify if a person has an open profile or not? You just simply go here. When you're searching through the leads, you press at the message button, free to open profile. Okay, this person, I can send them an email without having an email credit deducted from me. This person, same thing. This person, same thing. Okay. You see, there are lots of open profiles where you can really increase your volume without really spending any email credits. This person, for example, has a paid profile where you have to spend 1 email credit to reach out to him. And the rule of thumb to maximize the volume every month for one account is to do 35 connection requests and 50 open emails every weekday. On Fridays, you can do even more. Like if you have a very reputable and, a very old account, maybe you can do even more of the connection requests. But the general rule of thumb that I tell even my team, 35 connection requests and 50 emails every single weekday. So until now, we know how to identify if a person is qualified or not. We know that the size, we have to reach out to a specific number of people every day. We know that certain people have open profiles and some people have paid profiles. Now what do we do? Now we start sending out connection requests and we will send out open emails. And this brings us to the third S, which is the script. I want to give you an example. Most outreach fails because it's either too salesy or it uses AI. I want you to envision this, okay? Let's say you go into a networking event, and if you ever go to networking events, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's say you go to a networking event, there are 50 people there. The moment you reach the place, you start talking to people. 30 minutes in, you talk to maybe 10 people, and everyone is like, here's my business, here's what I'm doing. By the way, if you know someone, please let them know about me. I'll give you a commission, I'll give you a percentage. By the way, I'm doing IT, etc. Everyone is talking about themselves. And then you find one person. One person comes up to you. Hi, John, how are you? What do you do? Tell me, I know that, I heard from Ben that you're doing X, Y, and Z. Can you tell me a little more about that? Yeah, great, man, great. Well, it's very nice seeing you, and I wish you a great day. And then they go away. Now, let's say that all of these people are like, they do the same service. And you end up one day needing their service. Who would you go to? The person who is consistently started talking about themselves, or the person who started talking about you, started giving value, trying to help you rather than help themselves? You're definitely going to go to the second person. And I like to use that same idea with outbound. Instead of going for the sale immediately, I like to start with a greeting message, especially when I'm connected with the person. If it's through emails, maybe I go through for a sale because there's not much conversation, there's no connection request. But if we sent a connection request and it got accepted, do not go for the sale immediately. I sent something like, hi John, nice to meet you, loved your X, Y, and Z. Maybe I talk about their posts, their about section, whatever I see personalized, I send it over to them. And some of the mistakes that I see over and over again in outbound is that people, as I mentioned, sell immediately. Maybe they send really long paragraphs. Let me show you some really bad mistakes and what not to do in LinkedIn outbound. So we're gonna see some examples here. This person reached out to me. Number one, it's a long message. It's a very long message. So most probably, if you're DMing someone who's very busy, who's a CEO, etc., you don't want to read all of this. It's too long. This is too long. It needs to be a few lines long and maybe one paragraph long. That's it. So number one, I wouldn't go with a message that's that long. I would not go for the sale immediately. I would start with a greeting message that, like I mentioned before. I would not go for this kind of CTA. If you want to learn more, this is not going to get them any meetings or any sales. I guarantee you, like, this guy does not get anything. Like, unfortunately, I hope he sees this and hopefully he learns. But instead of saying something like this in the CTA, I would give an interest-based CTA, which is like, would you be interested in learning more? Would you like me to share more info? Etc., etc. Another time, it's too bulky. I'm reaching out because I've been teaming up with X, Y, and Z. It's a little too much about him. The pitch is okay, but yeah, it's too long. And the CTA is better than the one before, better than the one we've seen before, but it's still too big. Like, are you open for a quick chat? And we haven't even met. There are no other messages previous to this one. Are you open for a quick chat? Probably not, to be honest. No, I'm not open for a quick chat. I'm open to finding more information. When I learn more information, okay, then we see the value. Let's get into a call. And the third example I want to use is this one that happened here, but God knows who would read this. God knows that I would not read it. I still haven't read it, by the way. I'm like, okay, I'm going to show this in the video. I'm not going to even read it in the video because, no one is going to watch this at this point. So many wrong things, unfortunately, but that's why we're doing this. Very long, extremely long. Schedule immediately without any kind of conversation. It's not going to work. She gave me the price in the first message. I mean, normally through the chat, you never give the price. Like that, most of the time. It's not never, but most of the time you don't give the price in the chat. Especially when you're selling something that's a few $1,000, 10,000, 100,000, whatever it is. Like even $1,000. Sometimes $1,000 giving it through the messaging is not the right thing if you don't have a brand, etc. Yeah. So what I would do is everything that's opposite to this. Unfortunately, I'm not going to mention your name. So do the opposite of this, you'd probably do better. Now I want to show you some really good examples. So I got this cold message, I think a few days ago. I loved it. I was like, okay, I should do something like this, or I should experiment with this. So this guy sent Joseph on the money man, etc. So it was something about my post. He made the whole conversation about me rather than himself. You see that how the other people were talking solely about what they're doing and what they want. This guy totally talked about me. In your case, you're going to be talking about them. And he sent me my post. People love themselves more than most people. So it's a great move by him. And at the end, he asked a question that is related to what he's doing. So this person, honestly, if you're saying this, congratulations. Honestly, you got my respect. I love it. Let me show you just one more outreach message. So this person reached out to me with, hey Joseph, appreciate the connection, man. How's it going? How's everything going on your end? Very open-ended, nothing stressful, very conversational, which I also love this approach. And of course I replied, we had a conversation. I didn't end up buying, but we had the conversation. He got the reply, he got what he initially wanted. And for the other person as well, I replied and we talked for a bit. So these are some of the good examples. And since we're still on the third S, as you remember, it's the script. We need to have a script. You need 3 to 7 messages. If you send one message, probably you're not going to get a reply. Most people reply after doing some follow-ups. So you need to make a sequence that has between 3 and 7 messages. The first message, for example, being,
Hello, John. How are you doing today?
no, I'm kidding. All right, so this is an example of an AI agency. Let's say someone is running an AI agency. They can use a message similar to this one. Hi, John. a spot opened up for an automation system that can decrease your marketing costs by 50 to 80%. Would you like me to send the details? This very short, very punchy, and can get a reply very fast. If someone is busy, 50 to 80%. This can change depending on what you're doing. Of course, do not lie. Do not just give some random numbers because, okay, you might get the sale, but after fulfilling, the numbers don't match the expectations. So you're going to end up with a bad reputation. Try to be as truthful as possible with your messaging. And over time with testing, you're going to find the winning messages, the ones that are getting the highest reply rate. If you are just starting out, probably you're not going to get any replies, or you're going to get very few replies because you don't have the right messages. I hope you use these kinds of examples and play around with them. Make something unique to what you're doing. You're probably going to get an answer and you're probably going to book a lot of meetings. I hope this helps. And let's say the client answers like, sure, please send it over. You can say something like, sounds good, John. Our automation system gathers the best performing ads, etc. Want me to walk you through that in a call? Yes. And then you send them the calendar link and they book a call. So this is kind of the sequence that they need to go through. And the most important factors that I like to think about when it comes to these initial messages, and like before they even reply, is number one, keep it as concise as possible. Always keep the CTA a soft CTA, not you want to get into a call, not here's the link, it's not going to work. Keep the CTA interest-based, very soft. Always talk about the destination and not the path. So for example, if you're running a marketing agency, do not talk about we're going to make you X number of videos. Instead, you can talk about them getting 1 million viewers, etc. Always try to keep it realistic. So do not make extremely bold claims. These probably won't get your reply. For example, if you say, I'm going to make you a millionaire. Some people say that. It's a very bold promise. Keep it as realistic as possible. And whenever possible, add social proof. So for example, you can say that we have helped X company do this. We have helped this company get from 100,000 to 200,000, etc. Whenever you can, use the word free and try to personalize as much as possible. You need a script for everything. I'll tell you why in a second. But here are the scripts that you need to have in just one document and in one place. Number one is the initial sequence that we just talked about, the 3 to 7 step sequence before you get the reply. Number two is the most common responses. So this includes the client, for example, asking for more information. So you give them a more info message, just like the one here. Sounds good, John, or automation X, Y, and Z. You give them a little more information. And so this is the more info message. They might ask for a price. You need to have a price message. Well, what else? For example, if they want you to speak to their assistant, to their marketing manager, to their CTO, you need a template for that. Over time, now this is maybe not something you will have right off the bat, right when you start, but with time, you're going to find out that you're getting the same kind of responses from people. It's like 5 to 6, 7 responses that are all the same. They're duplicates. So you can make a template and send that out immediately. For example, here, if someone asks you about the price, what's the price? Great question, John. The price depends on X, Y, and Z. Some clients want A and others want B. It really depends on what kind of C you want or what you're looking for. Would it make sense for us to tailor something for your company in a call? And over time, as I mentioned, you're going to have just the database of the most common replies, and you send the calendar link. And I want you to focus on something here. So in all of these replies, we're always using this framework. It's also inspired by Hormozy, which is the ACA framework. We first acknowledge here. Sounds good, John. We acknowledge. Sounds good. I understand. 100% respect that, etc. Acknowledge. And then we handle the objection, or we answer their question here. And then we ask them another question that leads them to the next step we're looking for them to take, which is the call in this case, and so on. And the third kind of script is what you send them after they book a call. So let's say you go through all of this. They ask for the price. Okay, let's walk or tailor something in a call. Sound good. You send them this link. They book a call. Now what? Maybe today is Saturday, they booked a call for Tuesday. You can take the call on Tuesday without sending any message. That could work, but it's not a good look. It would feel more premium if you acknowledge, and when they first book a call there, you're like, oh, I'm glad that we got a call on the books, and here's some more information. Here's my website to see some case studies. If you'd like more information, please let me know before the call, and see you soon. So for this message, here's a template that you could use. Thanks for scheduling. Looking forward to our meeting, Monday, 11 a.m. CET. To learn a little bit more about us before our meeting, here is my website. You give them the website, and then see you soon. So that's something you could do. Now, let's say that you're not the one who booked the meeting. Maybe you have an appointment setter, you're the closer. I've done this myself without doing the step that I'm about to tell you. And it was so weird. Like the client lost a lot of credibility towards us because all of a sudden he was talking to a person and now he's speaking to me. It's just weird. What you should do in this case, let's say one of your teammates, let's say Ben, books a call, the appointment setter, and you're Tom. Tom is the closer. The appointment setter needs to make an introductory group chat between the three of you. So he books a meeting, the client books a meeting. He makes a group chat and then sends this on the group. Hi, John, I'd like to introduce you to Tom. He has done wonders for our clients. And then the closer would say, nice to meet you, Tom. Looking forward for our conversation. All right, I used Tom twice here, but you get my point. Don't get some weird comments. Everyone's name is Tom nowadays. I don't want to hear any of that, okay? All right, so this is the third script. And then the fourth script is the follow-ups. So let's take this as an example. So in here, let's say you send the first message. The second message here, the client responds to your message, and then you send them the more information. After that, the client does not respond. What do you do in this case? Follow-ups, baby. Follow-ups. We've got to follow up. Keep following up. Most of the deals and the biggest deals close in the follow-up. Okay? It's very important. So someone does not respond. You send them another message like, hi, John. I didn't write this down, but hi, John. Just making sure you saw this. Did you find the time to find a suitable time for you, or did you book a time? Did you find a suitable time, etc.? So you keep following up maybe 3 to 4 times. After that, if they do not respond, you do something called the re-engagement sequence. And this is a sequence that's mostly educational, and it includes your case studies. For example, if you got a company from 100K to 200K, you should mention that. You got X number of meetings in X month, you should mention that, and how you did it through your education, etc. So these are the 4 kind of scripts that you need to make. And the 5th kind of script that you need to use, this is just a bonus one, is the reminder script. So let's say someone books a call today for tomorrow. You could leave it as it is and get into the meeting tomorrow, but there is a chance that they won't show up. That's why you send reminders. You send 3 total reminders. First one being the day before, the second being the morning of the call, and 60 minutes before the meeting. And they can be something like this, for example. Did I add any examples here? No, I did not, but I'll tell you. Like, hi John, glad I'm meeting you tomorrow. Just making preparations. See you very soon. Do 3 of those messages, and this alone took my show up rate from 65% to 85%. So it increased my show up rate by 20%. And there are 2 different reasons why having a script is extremely important. The first reason is because consistent behaviors get you consistent results. If you have, like, maybe in your head, you're saying, oh my God, this is spam. We're sending the same kind of messages to a lot of people, etc., which I get, but we're changing up the messages from person to person. We're personalizing here and there a little bit. And then when they respond, we personalize even more. This is kind of the way. And the reason why we have a script is because we need to have consistency. We don't want one good month. We need to have the same consistent results one month after another. And if we want to grow, we're not changing anything. We're just increasing the volume, hiring more people, spending more, etc. Does that make sense? Okay. So it's consistency. And number 2 is the 4th S, and it's speed. Having a script allows us to respond to a prospect as fast as possible. And the reason why speed is so important is because of a study done by the Harvard Business Review, which showed that if you respond to a client in under 1 minute of them showing interest, you increase the chances of closing by 391%. That's 4 times. You can 4x your business purely by responding in under 1 minute. And if you delay your response by anything over 5 minutes, you decrease the chances by over 80% or around 80%. So speed is crucial. Speed is very important. That's why having a script is also important. And to make things even easier for you and to help you respond extremely fast, always have LinkedIn and Sales Navigator on your phone, have your notifications on so you can reply as fast as possible. So until now, we talked about the profile, how to make it a high converting profile. We talked about 4 of the 5 S's, which are the specific person, how to target a qualified lead, the size, how many people we should reach out to, the script, what we should send them, the 4th one being the speed, how fast we should reply, and now the 5th one, the spreadsheet. So let's say we're reaching out to 100 people a day, whatever the number is, and we need to follow up with these people. How can you be consistent with the follow-ups? How can you know when you should follow up and with what message? It's going to be a mess if you don't have everything in one place. That's why you should have a spreadsheet. For example, as you can see here, this is an example of a spreadsheet that you can use. It's also found in this document all the way down here. You can make a copy of it. We're going to be adding 2 kinds of people. The LinkedIn connections, the people that have connected to us, and the people that have responded through Sales Navigator. Only those types of people. And the way we're going to do that is, let's say we connect to John, Amy, and Laura. We're going to send them the greeting messages. And then we're going to add them here. We're going to add their names, and then we're going to add the date on which we connected with them. So let's say it's the 15th, and here is the 13th of September. And then in here, we know that we're going to send the first message on this date, and we're going to send the second message on this date, and we're going to send the third message on this date, etc. So this is kind of how it works. And I'm not going to go through how to structure a spreadsheet or how to use Excel. I think this needs a separate course, but it's very simple. The things you need to do here, very simple. So let's say everyone here, we've connected with them on the same day. We just add equals this plus 1, then enter. And that's how we just add a day. We can drag this down and we can do this for all of these people like this. And the beautiful part about this is that, for example, today is the 15th of February, which Valentine's Day was yesterday. I hope you had a good Valentine's Day. Okay. Once today lands, and this changes every day. This color changes every day. Like tomorrow is going to be the 16th. It will be colored, and this will indicate that I need to reach out to that person. So this is it. And yeah. And in terms of the conditional formatting, honestly, you don't need to learn this. Just copy and paste this Excel sheet to make things easier for you. And let's say we reach out to John here. So John, say, okay, reach out to him with the first message. Okay. He responds. I send out the more info message. Now in here, after he responds to the first message, I'm going to delete all of this. I'm going to go here and add follow-up 1. That's the action step. And then I'm going to add the date. For example, if he responded today, 15th of February, I'm probably going to follow up tomorrow, 16th of February. And once this turns to the 16th, let's say it's the 16th of February here, it's going to turn into this color. And you can change those manually. This one, don't play around with it. Okay. This one, don't play around with it. This one, these ones you can change. And yeah, that's it. Honestly, that's it for the spreadsheet. Just have everything on here so you can follow up on time and not have anyone fall through the cracks. And over time, this may get really tedious. I made this spreadsheet for the people who do not have any CRMs. Maybe you don't have any budget. I totally get that. You can use this. If you have a huge pipeline and if you have a lot of volume, you can use something like GoHighLevel, which is very organized. There's a very nice CRM, and you can check it using the link below. You also get like 30 days for free along with other bonuses, so you can check that out. So congratulations. Now you have fully learned everything you need to know about how to generate an infinite number of leads from LinkedIn outbound. Even when you have a bad offer and the sales process, when you have so many people knocking at your door and wanting to meet with you, it's really hard not to make money. You make it extremely hard with this process. And of course, with time, you need to refine your offer. You need to refine your sales process. If you want me to make videos on those, please comment down below and I'll make sure to do that for you. But if you need it urgently, maybe you can visit my link down below, tannouscapital.com, and we'll be able to help. And before jumping to the scaling section, I want to tell you about certain mistakes that I've learned the hard way that have costed me like thousands of dollars of hard costs. It's not like opportunity costs, thousands of dollars, and I made zero profit. Let me tell you the story. February 2025, I was running my PR agency and things were going good. And I was like, okay, I need to scale. I need to do something more. I need to do something different. The shiny object syndrome came on me and I was like, okay, I'm going to change something. And I went from doing only high ticket to wanting to do a lead magnet first, and then I upsell just to get a higher reply rate and, upsell more people. So what I ended up doing is giving people a free feature on a publication. And my mindset was, okay, I get them something really nice, and then I upsell them something else, something very expensive. And this ended up being honestly the worst idea I ever made business-wise. I wasted thousands of dollars on employees, on softwares, on the publications themselves. And I had I think 3 months of nothing. I got nothing in revenue just because I wanted to try something different. And this taught me a very valuable lesson about outbound, is that outbound is not meant for lead magnets. Lead magnets are meant for content, to get more engaged leads, maybe build up your list. And maybe if you're selling something low ticket through a website, through a landing page, okay, this is something I am with. If you're running ads, same story. But if you're doing outbound, we ultimately want to do is to monetize immediately, not like the other forms of the content. So I never recommend using lead magnets for outbound. Always sell high ticket offers when you're doing any kind of outreach. Another note is the offers. I see lots of companies that I come across that have a really low conversion rates when it comes to the replies, when it comes to the bookings, when it comes even to the closing rate. Maybe they have between a 5 and 10% closing rate. And the main reason is because their offer is bad or they don't have a standardized offer. I am a very big fan of having 1 to 3 standardized offers. If it's 3, you can do something like silver, gold, and platinum. Maybe if you're selling some kind of service, it would be like 2,500, 4,000, 8,000. If it's 1, whatever is logical for you. So this is for the offer, and try to work on the offer. The offer is working on the offer even for a week, for 2 weeks, trying to research about it. It's a very high leverage task that even I myself have gone through this. At some point I got 40 meetings and did not close a single person. Not because my outreach was bad. The outreach was really good, obviously, because we have generated 40 leads. But the main 2 mistakes that I was doing is that I did not have a solid sales process and I did not have a solid offer. So work on your offer. And for the sales process, you need to have something standardized, something scripted. And that's one of the reasons why you need a standardized offer, because when you have one standardized offer, you can just, have talk about one thing in all forms of marketing, whether it's through your messaging over text, through your messaging over the communication in the sales process, etc. Another note is that I don't recommend using AI at all for outbound, at least for now. One of the reasons is because using AI is not allowed by LinkedIn. It can get your account restricted. A lot of my colleagues have gotten their accounts restricted purely because they used AI. So this is one thing. And another thing, most AI tools are really not good. I've used 15 of them. Do not use them for now. At least now it's 2026, February. Maybe it will change in the future. Maybe there's a new tool coming up. Maybe I build a tool, who knows? But for now, nothing is really good. Just do it manually. It's going to be the best for you. A very important thing for you to hear is that, of course, consistency is key. This takes time. This takes a lot of effort. I know, trust me, I understand, but that's what it takes. The fact that it needs a lot of effort and time, it shows that this is going to be valuable for you. And it shows that it has a higher barrier to entry because most people are lazy. Most people are not going to do the hard shit. That's why you are going to win. Now, the last question is, how do we scale? How do we get more? Okay, maybe you're getting 10, 20 meetings a month, whatever it is. How do you get even more? And the answer is very simple. You need to hire more people. Get more appointment setters, VAs, BDRs, etc. Make them learn your process, make them watch this video so they can know exactly how to do everything and do things on your behalf. And they'll have your calendar link as their CTA, and that's how you get bookings from them. So it's as simple as that. If you want me to go more in depth into this, comment below and I'll make sure to also make a video on this. And as I mentioned, this process will get you results in the short and the long term. Maybe in the first 30 days, you book some meetings, maybe 4 or 5, whatever the number is. You book some meetings, but the real results appear after maybe 3 months because you're going to have such a full pipeline. You see the spreadsheet that I talked about or the CRM, it's going to be so full of people. You're going to be following up with so many people. It's going to be amazing. And you're going to be getting flooded with meetings. All of a sudden, you get the notification, 12 a.m. It's waking you up. You can't sleep. It's crazy. Okay. So keep yourself in the game. Keep pushing. You're going to get it. And to sum everything up, here are the core things. Number 1, you need to optimize your profile. And then you need to follow the 5S and 1T framework. Oh, I forgot to talk about the T. The T is the timing. It's not speed, it's the timing. The time, you need to reach out at a relevant time of the person. So let's say you reach out to a person in the US. It wouldn't make sense for you to reach out when it's 2 a.m. for them. You need to reach out when it's 9 a.m., 10 a.m., maybe even 5 p.m. Make sure that the timing is relevant. The T is a very small, but sometimes you need to mention it. So that's the timing. So in a nutshell, number 1, we did the profile and optimized it. We did the 5 S's and 1 T. The 5 S's are the specific person, the size, the script, the speed, and the spreadsheet. And the T is the timing. And then we talked about scaling. We broke down some examples of what to do and what not to do. And last but not least, if you're a B2B business selling high-ticket offers and you're looking to scale, and maybe you find this process too time-consuming, it takes too much effort, and maybe you want to not waste a lot of money and hundreds of thousands, maybe even millions of opportunity cost with you experimenting and doing all of this yourself, we would love to help you. So you can click the link below. It's tannousscapital.com, and you can book a meeting with myself or one of my teammates, and we'll make sure to take care of you. And I hope this information makes you a lot of money and gets you lots of clients, and I'll see you very soon. Have a good one.